Welcome, welcome to the Lighthouse. I'm really happy to have this time with you today, and I'm really happy to see all the faces that are joining in the room here with me and us all together. I had a slightly different agenda, if you will. Even though I am the kind of guide that believes very strongly in showing up with as little agenda or air or artifice as possible. But I had a slightly different plan for what I wanted to do with us, for us, and together today. But got the very sad news this morning that my best friend's mother died suddenly in the night. And it's just really touched me in a very deep way. And when we get touched, right, we go right into the heart of our practice, especially when we've been sort of robust practitioners for a long time. And it became very evident to me that today I want to sing for you, and I hope that you will Om with me while we hold a collective space together for feeling everything that we're feeling, for every feeling that's showing up in the human spectrum, whether that's grief or uncertainty or anxiety or joy or bliss or anything there in between. For me, when I'm chanting, the sound current of this kind of meditation is so pure, it's so pristine, and it really works for us at the level of what I was teaching about yesterday. For anybody that was in yesterday's Qigong meeting, I was really talking about using all of the methodologies to make adjustments in the emissions of the pineal gland. And whether we're doing deep breathing, or we're doing Qigong, or if we're doing yoga, or if we're chanting, or if we're even leaning into some deep self-psychology work, all of it helps us to change what the signal is that we're pulsing out and projecting into the world, so that we can attract its like, right? We know this is one of the laws of the universe, the laws of nature, that energy begets energy and like attracts like. And so for myself, when I sing, it always puts me in a very deep place of magnetic presence, which makes gratitude very, very, very available. And we all have so much to be grateful for in this time, and as I evaluate what my beautiful friend's family is holding space for now in this time of transition, no matter how long of a life you are served, it's just never long enough, right? Life is such a beautiful gift. It is such a beautiful gift. And what has really come alive for me in my heart this morning is recognizing just how very, very insular things have been in this past season, how separate we are from each other, how much we need to feel each other's pulse and heartbeat, and to feel a hand on our back, to feel a hug, to feel connected. And so as you're taking in the chanting, and as hopefully you're oming with me, visualize all the people that you love, all of the many, many people that you love in your life, and let that be the signal that is projecting out of the satellite of your pineal gland. Be a satellite of love today. Be a satellite of love, and just send out all of your compassion, all of your empathy, all of your gratefulness, as wholeheartedly as you can. We have been configured in our lives in this particular style of organism that is capable of a caliber of relationship that is so very deep. And it's my hope for you that today's meditation will provide you an inroad to the very narrow road, but the very certain road to the inner space of an enduringly open heart. the inner space of an enduringly open heart. So what I'd like to offer for you in terms of your activation aspects and in terms of your participation, you could just take in the singing. I'm going to sing the Mahamrityunjaya mantra at the beginning here. You could simply take it in because the sound current alone is sufficient. It's more than sufficient. And this particular mantra allows us to shed all of the non-necessary hang-ups that we tend to have as human beings, you know, and certainly the news of the death of a loved one helps us with that too, right? And mantra is kind of like a particular radio station that we can tune into. So we tune into the particular bandwidth of this mantra, and it helps us to shed the non-necessaries, to identify our little, you know, petty preoccupations, and to hang them all up and to let them be, so that we can be in relationship with the infinite, so that we can trust that the infinite is taking care of everything, so that we can remember that the infinite is the most ultimate friend, and so that we can align ourselves at the level of embodiment and action and attitude and projection. We can align ourselves to know that the infinite is feeding us a quality of consciousness that is always spot on. It's just always spot on. So hold on, I want to sip my tea. And I want to give you a mudra if you want to use it. It's Padma Mudra. This is classic, this is ancient. And the beautiful thing is that human beings throughout all of history and the world over, no matter what the culture is, human beings find their hands coming to this shape, Padma. It's the lotus. It's the lotus flower. And when I contemplate all of the many ways in which we have been finding ourselves lingering in a deconstructed state this year, 2020, our year for clear vision, right? All the ways that we've been lingering in this deconstructed state, I'm always brought to the vision of the water lily, the lotus, that grows up through all of the water weeds. And if you have been a lake swimmer in the isthmus, you know that this time of year, if you're swimming in these waters, in certain areas, not all of them, but in certain areas, the water can seem impenetrable because there's so many plants that have woven themselves together and created an underwater tapestry. And it can feel like, you know, I mean, if you're on a stand-up paddleboard, you can get stuck in this stuff very easily. I'm speaking from experience. But the thing is like, from the muck and the mire at the bottom, where all these weeds and plants are growing up from, there will be these lilies, these lotus flowers that come up, and they rely on the filth, if you will, that is at the bottom. They rely on that as their point of origin, through which they grow up through all of the water weeds, through the challenge of finding their way to the moment of penetrating the surface and of unifying with the light and allowing the light to unify with it. And the miraculous thing is that these beautiful flowers, the lilies, the lotuses, when they present themselves at the surface, they're unscathed, they're spotless, they're stainless. Yet they have come from the challenge and they have come from the muck. And that teacher plant has a lot to remind us in a very simple, elemental, kind of earthy, grandmotherly way, that we can choose to shift our perceptions as many times as we need to in the course of a day, so that we too are like that. Okay, so you can be in this Padma Mudra and hover. If you choose to engage with the mudra, you're going to join at the base of the palm, the tip of the pinky, and the outer edges of the thumbs. And you're going to hover the mudra right there in front of your heart center, in front of the heart center, so not off to the left. And look at the tip of the nose, but then beyond that, look into the base of the Padma Mudra shape that you've created with your hands. And so if you're hearing something, it's a squirrel that's been climbing the side of my house for the past 2 days. When we work with this mudra, we want to occupy sincerity regarding what we are projecting and what we are magnetizing. I'm sorry about the dog. Occupy sincerity. Be empty so that there is a landing place for what it is that's coming in through the practice of the meditation, and I dare say even the practice of prayer. Let it be a mystical experience. Our meditation helps us to feel better, to deal with stress, to become sharper business people. It does all that for us. But it should also, the other side of the meditative coin is it should also be a sort of mystical practice that puts us in relationship with, in an elevated relay with our infinite awareness and sense of place. So you want to occupy sincerity, you want to be empty, and so that's what the metaphor of this space in between the hands is for us. You want to be empty so that there's a place for it to land and grow within you. And then after the meditation or mystical experience or prayer, you want to go back out into the field of your life and search for evidence of its presence already being there. So for myself, sometimes my meditation helps me with past, sometimes it helps me with present, and sometimes it allows me to actively engage with future. And we can be very conscious around the choice making regarding where it is that we want to do our work, where it is that we want to slip in, and where it is that we wish to increase our range of awareness. So find the mudra. Find your gaze first at the tip of the nose and then at the base of the palm. And like I said, you can choose to Om with me. I would love that. And I know that you hear me and I don't hear you. But I want to tell you, I feel it when you are singing with me. And so I hope you'll join in your own. Oops. Lots of quirks. I hope you'll join in your own space. But it's our space. Not just coming through some small opening in the throat, but it's coming through everywhere. all of the openings that may have arrived, that have hopefully arrived for you during the meditation. To really feel unshakably present in the insight dimensions that meditation makes available for us, inside of us. How it aligns us with all of the inner resources that we already have inside, so we can be utilizing those tools, so the universe can play us more beautifully. When I practice, hopefully you find this too, but when I practice, I feel like it's a great burning. There's actually a word, in the Eastern teachings, it's tapas. It burns through all of the illusory stuff at the level of object and energy and electricity. It creates a great bonfire inside of us so that all that remains is the truth of who we really are. And so that all that remains is our gratefulness and our radiance. Take this moment to deepen even more into your sincerity, into your emptiness, into your openness. And take this moment to get a glimpse of what the signal is that's pulsing, that's beaming out from the satellite, the pineal gland, your satellite of love, a kind of love force intelligence. Every time we take time to meditate, it creates space within us so that higher and higher levels of intuitional confidence and higher levels of intelligence can resonate within us. Less fear and more love. Inhale deeply, wholeheartedly, all the way down below the below, to the inside of your inside. Absorb into that vastness, objectlessness, absorption, stillness, and light. Inhale one last time. Exhale into emptiness. Relax the mudra from in front of your chest. Take a moment to just be still, to feel the axis of your spine as an address for a new kind of dignity, a new kind of devotion, a new kind of clarity. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you taking time to tune in, whether it's now in live context or later as a replay. I thank you so much for taking time to tune in. And I really wish you a most beautiful day where you are reminded time and again of how much there is to be grateful for. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, hopefully. Sat Nam. Namaste.